Well, hello everyone. I'm John Monson. Good to see you again. A number of people have said to me maybe I could do a brief video on my Rivian R1T instead of the usual stuff about old Jaguars breaking down or being crashed into. I do indeed have a Rivian R1T. I have a very dirty Rivian R1T because it's been sitting outside for a while. So let's take a quick look around it. It's in this orange color, orange yellow, I'm not sure. It has a fancy name, I can't recall. I bought that deliberately, or I ordered it this way deliberately because I know strange colors tend to be more attractive when you're reselling the car. It's a truck. And has a few little features that everybody knows about. So the signature wow feature is the gear tunnel. This is this piece here. You press a button here, and you just pull this down, and there you have a gear tunnel that goes all the way through to the other side. I'll show you by opening the other side, and you can put all sorts of stuff in there, which is safe because you can't see it. If you're thinking of putting a hostage in there, it does have an escape button. I gather that's a feds thing. You can stand on this, it'll bear your weight, so no worries there. But as I say, the main advantage of that is that outsiders can't see what you're storing in a truck. Now, the bay has a power tailgate, except in my Rivian it doesn't, as in it makes a noise and then you have to do that. I've had it adjusted by Rivian a couple of times, but to no avail. It lasts about 10 minutes. So a couple of interesting things in here. Hooks for tying stuff down. This is a pretty cool little thing here. It's an air compressor. They give you a little air compressor kit with it, and so you can pump up tires or pool toys and things like that, air beds, etc. And over here you see the standard power points. Nothing unusual there. Forgive all the leaves and branches. As I say, it's been sitting outside. So moving around, how do you get into a Rivian? Well, there's three ways of getting into a Rivian. Your phone app will open it, a key fob will open it, or a card that looks like a credit card will open it. Personally, I keep the fob at home, and I have the key card in my wallet at all times, so when you approach the car it opens automatically. When you walk away from the car and shut it, it locks automatically with a little birdie chirp. And you know it's open because these handles come out like that. Up front we have a frunk, a decent sized frunk. Opens inside or from inside or outside. Here it's a power hood, decent size space in here, as you can see, and then this bit lifts up, so you've got even more space, and you just put that down, and some little nets here for holding things. This is where you put your power charging cables, if you so wish. It's got soft close here. Your charging port hides in here, and you just touch it and it opens like that. You just touch it again and it closes. Okay. Everything else is pretty standard, and so let's turn around and have a look in the back of the car and see what we've got, or truck I should say. They're all about, this is the adventure pack. This is vegan leather, which I think is another word for plastic, I'm not sure. It's not leather. Lots of storage pockets everywhere you look, and they're all expandable, as you can see, this type of expandable thing. It's got a full moon roof, as you can see, and it has this back panel here, rear panel, for you to for the passengers to sort out their own climate control with a couple of USB-C ports. It's pretty spacious in here, more than you would ever need. So it's a full family car, this, or truck. So let's have a look at the inside. So, well, as you can tell, since the early part of the video, I look a little different, and the surroundings also looks a little different, because now, some months later, I'm actually in Connecticut, having relocated at the end of 2023. So the weather is definitely different, but I wanted to continue this Rivian review by going through some of the details on the inside, and having put some 3,000 miles on the car, give you a better sense as to what I think of it, and the pros and cons. So let's start by having a look at the interior here, and see what we've got. Now, you've got the usual a big screen that most electric vehicles have, that has a range of activities. So you've got your sat nav, you've got your entertainment. What you do not have, however, is Apple Play. A bit like Tesla doesn't have Apple Play. It's a little annoying. I'm sure it's some geopolitical argument between the EVs and Tesla. I'm pretty sure one day there'll be an update and it will happen. You've got all the activities of the car, your different driving modes, all on-road, off-road, and towing, and then it's also got different levels of regenerative braking standard, and it'll go to should go to standard, or there we go, high, once you put your foot on the brake. And then it's got the ride soft as well, soft or stiff, and stability on. It has this thing called kneel, which is supposedly to help people get into the high car. Being a truck, it's a little high for some people. I don't think it's very useful, because of course it doesn't happen instantly, otherwise you'd be bouncing up and down like on a trampoline. And so by the time you actually it kneels down, then the person's already got in a car. You got your settings menu here, and then actually let me go back to this one as well, picture of the car, and then it's got a bunch of information that you might like to know if you were flying a plane, such as the elevation and the compass. But you've got your battery level here, and your trip. Over here you've got things such as opening the hood, which is actually the front, opening the charge port, gear tunnel open, tailgate open. Some months later the tailgate still doesn't open on its own. You have to drop it down. Has this car wash mode, which basically makes sure that all the windows are up, etc., etc. And then adjusting your mirrors, wheel mirrors, and folding the mirrors in, which is quite useful. In terms of charging, it charges standard. As you can see, the limits you can set, so you can move this up to 100%. The recommendation for daily charging is 70%. It tells you about the outlets. It's got some presets here, obviously. So if you're going on a long journey, charge it up overnight to 100% and go from there. You can set it on a charging schedule if you plug it in, etc., etc. Unlike some EVs, particularly Tesla, you've got a dashboard in front of you, which I like. I don't like the fact that you've got nothing on the nothing in front of you, so you have to kind of take your eyes off the road to look. But it's It doesn't have a lot of information. It's got your driving mode, drive, park, neutral, etc. It's got the sat-nav summary on the left, although you can change this for a couple of other things, such as the infotainment, and it's got the lane assist and the doors, etc. there. Here, standard, this is your volume, and these side buttons will adjust the front screen. You've got your normal indicator stalk over here and wipers, and your gear one over here, which works just like a Mercedes, and it also runs the cruise control, which has its adaptive cruise control. Annoyingly, these things here don't light up at night, which I think is silly. Over here, you have the wireless charging for the phone. Everybody complains about it because the phone moves around and loses, and it does. That's absolutely true. You got a couple of cup holders. Because there's no transmission tunnel, you've got extra space down here, and out of which emerges that little speaker box thing, which is a wireless speaker, which you can, if you so desire, take with you to produce, as you can see, this is a wireless speaker thing here. Never used that. Pretty decent size glove compartment, if you like, because there is no glove compartment over there. So, and also this, just to point out, this runs the climate control, which is just on a touch basis here. So you adjust the vents with your finger like that. It's kind of a bit of a show and tell thing, but it works. Okay, so let's take it for a ride. Okay, let's go and see what the driving experience of a Rivian is like. This is the Adventure Pack Rivian with the bigger motors, and it is amazingly quick. It has the quad motors. I keep it in normal mode, driving mode. I don't put it to sport, but if you did, it would probably make your eyes bleed. It's amazingly quick as it is. It's basically got one pedal driving. That is in the normal mode, so it's pretty quick, this thing. Now it drives like a truck, except most trucks don't go that quickly in a straight line. When I say it drives like a truck, it doesn't go around corners like a sports car, even though it would leave most sports cars absolutely for dead in a straight line. Charging wise, this is charged to 70%, and the range is 222 at the moment, so it's around 240 or something. There's no question that the range is influenced by temperature and weather conditions. So it's been pretty cold recently in Connecticut, and so I think it does take the edge off the range. If you charge it up to 100%, it goes over 300 miles. There's no question also that as a first experience of an EV, there is a little bit of charging anxiety that goes with this. You're not used to it. But basically I plug it in to charge to 70% maybe once a week. I think it's absolutely fine. The regenerative braking is interesting. It takes a little getting used to, but it is effectively one pedal braking. You hardly ever put your foot in the brake itself. You just need to learn, judge, when to take your foot off the pedal for coming traffic lights or a stop. And you get used to it pretty quickly. What I do like about the electric vehicle experience is the instant torque. you know, I'm a fan of old cars, etc. My previous car was 63 SAMG SUV, real big boy's toy thing, as I mentioned maybe earlier on, with the bi-turbo V8. That thing had the worst turbo lag that I've driven for many years when set to normal mode. If you set it to sport mode, you reduce the turbo lag, but it eats the tires up at that point. But I can tell you that it's a nice experience just being able to pull away with no stuttering and no lag, and you get that fantastic smooth torque curve. There is hardly any curve. It's a linear drive. The other thing that's interesting is that because you don't have any engine or major transmission noise, everything you hear when driving the car is road noise. So you get the tire noise and you get the wind noise, but you also hear things in terms of the drivetrain, transmission, etc., that you wouldn't have heard before. And so when you get into the car initially, you think this thing rattles or shakes, and it doesn't. It's just that you're hearing stuff that you are not used to hearing in a normal car. You heard the alarm dinging there. That's Rivian's version of lane assist. It doesn't like you wandering. You can turn that off if you want. I don't. And so it stops you wandering out of a lane. The cruise control on this, highway driving for example, is absolutely fine. It's adaptive cruise control, which I like. I haven't used the version of autopilot, if you like, in any significant way. I'm still a little leery about that. I haven't quite learned the confidence in doing it, but I'll explore that in due course. So you can see as you wander across the central median, it gives you the ding. Now this is classic Connecticut roads, up and down, elevation change, twisty-turny. And it's fantastic for the E-Type Jags, of course. But it's pretty good, as you can see. It's it floats over these turns very nicely. I like the steering. It's not too light. It's pretty responsive, pretty direct. In this little driving bit so far, just FYI, I've not put my foot on the brake yet. All of the driving and the stopping has been done through the regenerative braking. I think that's a pretty cool system. The other thing I should say about Rivian is that I've been pretty impressed by their responsiveness in terms of service issues or support questions. So if you want to know how to reverse or how to put the headlights on and stuff like that, they have a pretty responsive way of coming back to you with answers, and they'll either do it online or on the phone, and they will follow up with you, interestingly enough, to make sure that you've managed to resolve the problem. I suspect that in the early days of their existence, they're trying to make sure that they go above and beyond the call of duty rather than a legacy automaker. Maybe 10 years from now they won't be as quick to respond, but there's no doubt that there are plenty of other legacy automakers that you'd be hard-pressed to get any answer out of them or any suggestion that they actually care about you. maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but pretty sure I'm not the only person that has had that experience. What would I like to see better in this? I'm not sure that the build quality of the bodywork is exactly brilliant. You see some elements of overspray on one or two things. There's been a big fuss over, they had a powered bed cover, which they stopped producing and stopped making available because apparently it kept breaking. I have a WeatherTech aftermarket bed cover, which works fine. It's not powered, but it works fine, does the job. The tailgate is very basic. It doesn't bother me. The number of times I use it are limited, and the fact that I actually may have to pull it down a tad is not the end of the world. The signature item for this truck is, of course, the so-called gear tunnel. It's very cool, but I gotta tell you, I'm not entirely sure what it's for. I guess if you... I don't travel with a lot of stuff that I need to keep out of the way, but it has the advantage, I guess, of being protected from the weather a bit more than stuff that's in the bed, even with a bed cover. So there we are. There's a very brief little drive on the Rivian R1T. Let me know what you think about it. Please subscribe to the channel. Give me some comments and tell me what else you'd like to see. See you soon.